Good evening. My name is David Migliaccio. I served 6 years in the Marine Corps Infantry and currently contract teaching Marines on how to fly drones. And I'll be going over equality in the military physical standards. In the early 1960s, women became a whole lot more prevalent in the military, so the Army created two different physical standards, the 5BX for men and the XBX for women, which just consists of different exercises with different expectations dependent upon your gender. And that's developed to where it is today, some changes, but still differences for men and for women. But that was with the understanding that women were not allowed to serve in these combat roles. But in 2013, Leon Panetta, the Secretary of Defense at the time, lifted that ban, allowing women to serve in those combat roles like infantry, reconnaissance. But the standards between men and women still remained different, which is why I believe that inside of those combat roles, you should have the same PT standards regardless of your gender. Which if you look at this table right here, which you can see on the screen, we'll just use an 18-year-old male and a female for an example. For push-ups, the passing requirement for a man is 42, where for a woman it's only 19. So they're expected to be around half the strength of a man, at least for that example. But the reason I believe this is partially for biological reasons. The American College of Sports Medicine released a study where they said that there were significant differences in the anatomy as well as the physiology in between men and women, and that men were typically stronger and faster than women of a similar age and a training status. And they attributed this largely to the amount of testosterone that these men had. And for the numbers portion, they said that males will typically outperform females by 10 to 30%, depending upon the requirements for that specific event. You can also see in our daily lives just the differences between the men and women in regards to sports in high school or professional leagues like the NBA and WNBA, or just male and female lacrosse, or baseball, softball, right? Just differences based off of those biological reasons. Another reason is for personal experience. So when I was in, we had two females with us, both inside of the infantry, and I'll call them Woman A and Woman B just for privacy reasons. Both had the same amount of determination and similar physical status, but Woman A was not able to complete a lot of exercises. So she was falling out of runs, not able to carry her weight, and it led to ultimately, when we got a real world mission, her squad did, that she was left out because she was not reliable and they didn't have confidence that she'd be able to complete the tasks required for that mission. Another example is a 20-mile hike. And the reason I bring this up is Woman A fell out, Woman B didn't. So it's not a gender difference. It's just a physicality difference that everyone should be held to the same standard. And typically someone who falls out of a hike, we're able to filter them out through the normal PT tests. And if they don't meet the standards, then they switch to a different job. But whenever there's a female involved, since they have lower physical standards or expectations per large Army or large Marine Corps, then they aren't filtered through. You're kind of forced to have them inside of your squad, which is unfortunate both for the male and for the females. And also, it's dangerous for the rest of your team. So if you had a loved one, brother, sister, son, or daughter who was in the military, they were overseas in a combat zone, and they presented this situation to you of where they had a Marine that was not reliable, was consistently falling out, to where your loved one had to carry their weight consistently, putting them more at risk, then I would believe that it would make you a little bit uncomfortable to where you'd want something to change. Which is why I believe that ultimately, whenever there are those combat roles, men and women must be held to the same physical standards. And a less restrictive and more progressive government is crucial to the development of America, but we must be progressive and practical by addressing the differences in between men and women. And then these are the references. Most of them have to do with the biological differences, since that seems to be the most argumentative point of my position. But thank you for listening.